How's it, everybody? This is Sapphire's Unscripted. There's only two of us today because Brevin has an assignment to do. He's putting his education ahead of this podcast that's going to be the biggest in the world. Can you actually believe it?
How dare he?
Okay. How dare he?
Shocking.
Okay, guys. This was a flippin' exciting weekend of rugby. Like, it was on a whole nother level. It's good to see. It's the first time that I've watched rugby without my team playing and being equally excited. So, Casual, what do you think? What do you think of this weekend's rugby as a whole?
Yeah, as you just said, this is the first time that not even teams that we don't necessarily support, but just like that we haven't seen South African teams. And I was glued to my screen. Like, I watched all the games. When we talk about Champions Cup or Challenge Cup, I thought this weekend as a whole was a brilliant advertisement for the game. And I'll bring up some points as we speak, especially about the Leinster game that I thought was absolutely beautiful. I know we always banter the Irish and stuff, but I'll just say it now. For us to see Croke Park with the history that it had, with 82,300 people, absolutely beautiful. We always talk about how we want to grow the game, and get more eyes on the game. When you get a super stadium and you fill it up for a franchise game, never mind the international game, that is something that has to be admired. So I thought this weekend as a whole, especially that, was a great advertisement for the game.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I don't want to talk about that yet. I first want to talk about the Challenge Cup because I thought the rugby there was equally as good as the Champions Cup. So the first game, Gloucester versus Benetton, when we spoke about it in our preview game, I told you that this Gloucester side is a whole nother team when it comes to playoffs, and they have players there that are pushing for that England jersey and obviously somebody pushing for a Springbok jersey. So yeah, that result 40-23 to Gloucester, it was something to behold. But you actually said to me offline you have some topics, some points on that game. So let us hear it.
Well, first and foremost, boys, this is our 73rd episode, and we are, as we're filming, 2 subscribers off of 880 subs. So if you do enjoy the channel, we try and be a good advertisement for rugby in terms of a fan's perspective. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, join the family, and we appreciate and love you. I said Gloucester is an average team. They schooled Benetton. I thought Benetton was in the game after the first half, but then they just got blown out of the water at the end. A proper performance. We didn't necessarily have the highest hopes for Benetton. I did predict him to win, but it wasn't like a secured victory. But those hopes just demolished within a couple of minutes. Who's that? Is it Zach Mercer? That guy is insane. How has he not got an England cap yet? Like, seriously.
Does he not have an English cap?
Maybe he has a cap, but he doesn't play for them on the regular. And he was amazing.
Yeah.
But
we'll have to look that up. We'll have to look that up because I think he does have an English cap.
Yeah, but he's not a regular in the team. The way that he's played, and I've heard his name a couple of times, he doesn't have enough caps, because why doesn't he play for them more? If you look at the way that they struggle in certain positions, especially like in the 6, we know who's the guy that they play at Ben Earl. I've heard that he can play 6. Play him at 6 and Zach Mercer at 8. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's have a look. Yeah. International career. He's got 2 England caps. He played in 2018 and he's got 17 under 20 caps. He's got 6 under 18 caps for England. And in 2013, he played under 16 for Scotland.
Wow. Okay. But he's got to go into that England squad. I mean, when you talk about standout players in certain teams, he is by far the standout player in that Gloucester team.
Yes, and it has been all season, actually. I have noticed quite a few games. Like, all the games, I think I've only seen 3 or 4 of their games this season. And every time he's one of their standout players. So I completely agree with you there.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, let's
yeah,
move
so
on because
anyway,
we don't
eh,
have any emotional investment in this.
we don't. But anyway, so
This
my
was the dull
favorite,
affair in our opinion.
yeah, it was. But yeah, good on Gloucester. It's a game I called, and I'm very happy that I got it right.
Just for the South
um,
Africans, Rhino Smith had an insane game though. He had a brilliant game, scored a try as well. He looked absolutely brilliant. Obviously, Brex looked good. I don't think Menoncello looked the best for Benetton, but yeah, Rhino Smith standout performer for me when it came to that Benetton team in a losing cause.
yeah, always puts his hand up. Unfortunate for him, he's going up against some of the best in the world when it comes to that Springbok nod. But let's hope he gets an Italian.
Do you think he's pushing to play for Italy one day, if that's possible, or if
Well,
they
hopefully,
tell him you can play against Wales at Twickenham, because obviously he's not going to play other games, would he take that and offer up ever playing for Italy?
yo, I don't know. I don't know. That's a tricky one. That's a story for another day. Let's move on to the Sharks versus Clermont game before we get invested in old Reno Smith there, because yes, he's one of my favorites. Sharks Clermont, big game, very up and down game. I thought at one stage, okay, Sharks, there's no chance that they're winning this game. Like, no chance. They look so out of sorts. And then all of a sudden, I said the same about Clermont. Like, wow, I think Clermont's actually going to lose this game. And truth behold, the Sharks came from behind, scored in the corner, and Sia Masuku, what a conversion. 8 out of 8 with a boot. My man.
Yeah. True Sapphire rugby, winning a game by 1 point when it matters. I mean, absolutely brilliant. The French must hate us now, okay? Because we beat them in the World Cup by 1 point. We knocked out the team that's in the Challenge Cup by 1 point. Masuku, once again, man of the match performance. That guy, wow. Because his first game that we really saw him play was against the Stormers, right? And he came from the bench, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And we said, okay, there's a bit of talent there, but doesn't look the best necessarily. But wow, man of the match performance after man of the match performance. Eben Etzebeth in that second half, especially monster. That it felt like the Sharks just said in the second half, let's become the Springboks, because we are a bunch of Springboks playing together, but they never look like Springboks playing for their franchises. Exactly. Second half to Clermont, to the cleaners, absolutely brilliant. I wanted to bring up something in this game for you. Fussy, did you see his yellow card? What was your opinion on
it? Everybody knows I'm not the biggest Fussy fan in the world, but if you're gonna hand out yellow cards or witty nitty, then I think you're. But I don't know if I want to talk about this, because I'm going to feel like I'm going to be that guy complaining about the ref's decisions again. And I said to myself that I'm going to be bad.
No, because I think it's Luke Pierce is his name, right? I think he's the best ref in the world, in my opinion. But he had two calls that I really, really didn't agree with. Obviously, we are a bit biased and look at it from the South African perspective, so you focus a bit more on the Sharks. I wasn't angry at the decision with Fussy, right? Because I think he kind of knows what he's doing a bit, but he's running in line with the ball. That ball shoots, right? Where does he have to go? Where does he go? You can see he's not trying to take out the player. He's trying to make him as small as possible. And if you wanted to penalize that and give him a yellow card, that is a penalty try as well. I'm not having a lock and a prop tracking back, catch a winger who's clean through. Okay, so don't tell me there was two chasing players and the try isn't going to be scored. That try's 100% getting scored if he doesn't get taken out there. But I also think Fussy had nowhere to go, like absolutely nowhere to go with that shooting bounce. Like the bounce was horrible. And then in the first half, did you see Lukanya telling Luke Pierce, stop feeling sorry for them?
No, I didn't. I missed that completely. Wow, tell me more.
In the first half, there was a kickoff, and one of our players, who's the lock of the Sharks? Not Eben, the other one.
I don't know.
Whatever. He got taken out of the air, right? And it was the second or third time he got taken out of the air, and they didn't want to give it a yellow. Well, it was a blatant yellow, taken out of the air, no arms tackle. Like, he never committed for the ball. He's lifted up into the air. Luke Pierce says, no, they held him in the air too long. I'm like, since when have you heard that? They keep guys in the air so they can structure a maul or whatever every single game. Just shoulder charged him. He didn't land dangerously because he put out his hand to land on his hand and then like on the ball on his stomach. But that's an easy yellow card. Okay, taken out of the air, no arms, whatever. And Lucario told him, because you said you're holding the player too long in the air, so it's just a timing issue. Definitely not a timing issue. Lucario told him, that's the third time they did it. Can we please play the game without feeling sorry for them? And I was like, wow.
What did the rest
obviously, Luke Pierce didn't like that and told him there's no space for this in the game.
Wow. Okay, wow. That's quite a cool one.
Well, we spoke about respecting the ref and how far that gets you in the game if you captain a side. I don't think the ref respects you after you make a comment like that, right?
No. That's like, that's like telling a cop, just arrest Oak. He just committed a serious crime. Don't feel sorry for him don't feel sorry for her because she's good looking.
yeah. But it's facts, because that was just, it wasn't it was a cynical penalty. Like, that is kind of it wasn't a dangerous tackle or anything like that. But just because it's taking him out of the air, he definitely knew where the guy was and no arms. He just like dived through him. Like, that could have been very bad.
It could have, but enough on the refs. Let's be nice to refs for one episode.
He had a good game, Luke Pierce. I'm just asking because that was two big decisions in my opinion.
Yeah, but then again, refs aren't going to get the whole game right every time spot on. But yes, I do, however, think those could have been game changers. Like, it didn't have to be as close as it was for the Sharks if those went in the Sharks' favor. I get what you're saying. So it does, yes.
Red, do you want to know what's scary? If the Sharks are the only South African team to win silverware this season, I don't know what I will do. Because we've been here all season bantering and talking bad about the Sharks, and they might be the only South African team winning silverware. I will literally cry. I wouldn't know what to say. Like, how do you justify that?
We have a crier on this podcast, so don't worry about that. It will happen. But I'm actually all for it. I 100% want the Sharks to win.
Obviously, but it's still like,
I'm very anti-Sharks. Like, Sharks and Bulls, for me, same WhatsApp group. I struggle with them completely. But when it comes to a European final, I'll swallow my pride and I'll be wearing black and I'll be shouting my lungs out for the Sharks. So,
well, obviously you live closer to the Sharks, so you probably see a bunch of Sharks supporters as well. I don't see any of them. I see a couple of Bulls boys here, but I mean, they just play hide and seek when it comes to the Stormers.
My whole family's Shark supported, so I get it on our WhatsApp group. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So you and the Sharks boys, same WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to probably these two games. The next two games were probably the games of the weekend for me. I was glued to my screen with the Leinster game. I thought that those first two tries that Leinster scored, I thought, oh, here we go. We're not going to hear the Irish shut up about this. This is going to be a runaway victory. And then the Saints just put on brakes and they were like, nope, not so fast. This is not going down the way you want it to go down. And that fight back was so good. Holy cow. What do you have to say about that game?
I mean, I literally told you before the game, before this pod, how Saints were still in this game after the 70th minute. I do not know. It is a mythical creature that just roams Earth that can explain how that happened. Because they were played off the park. They were smashed, okay? To say it nicely, the points didn't necessarily say it. It felt like we were watching the box when you see the box dominate the game, but not getting all the points in the world for it. Like, you see the All Blacks, as soon as they have possession, you can automatically put on 21 points, okay, because they're scoring a couple of tries. The box can slowly beat you to death. And that's kind of what Leinster did until Saints decided, okay, we're actually playing some rugby today, so let's score 2 tries and make it interesting. And then I'm not going to lie. I thought Saints is going to do it at the end because they
Yeah,
had all the momentum. They played some brilliant rugby. The 82,300 people that we just picked up went silenced. Like that, you know, when your team's under pressure and you just like hear 3 or 4 guys roaring to kind of motivate the guys to say, listen, it's not over, just defend.
Just defend.
That's what we had. It was silence. I was like, and obviously we are on groups with some Leinster fans and stuff, and they also believed like, wow, it's kind of that after you finish the game and breathe.
Yeah.
I do not know how they stayed in this game, but it was a brilliant game of rugby. It was hard. Some of the hits were crazy.
Can I just give one player a special mention that he breaks more tackles than you'd think he could? Is Jarno Augustus, whatever.
Wow.
Former Stormers player. Holy, that was probably one of his best games in a very long time. And in the week, he said he has aspirations to play for the Boks, but he hasn't heard anything from Rassie. And then come this semi-final, and he's one of Saints' best players. He kept Leinster busy like it's flipping, like he owns the show. I mean, catches the ball off a kickoff, just steps a little bit to the left, steps a little bit to the right, breaking tackles like this is like child's play for him. Yeah, it was. This was,
and he's got gas, Brett.
Yeah,
he's when he had that ball, I think it was from a knock on. He picked it up and just chased his own kick. He put like a grubber through. I was like, this guy's got insane gas, and you know this is a brilliant problem to have. But I also feel bad for our boys. We've got so many talented eights. Like, can South Africa like enter 2 World Cups? Can we put like two teams in it? Because surely to make space for Evan Roos, Cameron Hanekom, Jasper Wiese, and Augustus, we need 2 teams because you can't play them on other positions really. You can't really say every 8 can play flank as well. Just absolutely brilliant. Courtney Laws once again. What a season he's having. Since when do you see a guy saying, listen, I'm retiring and then play his best game of rugby ever? Like, best season of rugby. It's the same that we got from Aaron Smith in the World Cup. This was the type of performance that I felt Saints were going to go home and they're going to be like, we really didn't pitch up for this game. And then at the end, they can really say they gave it a proper go at the end and they made Leinster look mortal. And I mean, that is a big job to do. Leinster looked very beatable. And I spoke to some boys while watching the Toulouse game that we'll get into soon, and scary times.
Yeah, very scary times. I just want to emphasize that I called this game spot on. I said Leinster's only going to win by 3, and the score was 2017. So I'll take that one. Yeah. Thank you.
You had a good weekend, but overall, we probably have to give props to Leinster as well. Got it over the line. Saints not an easy team to beat. They've been having a sensational season, and to actually hold on to that 3 points there at the end when they were really, really under pressure, just said a lot about the Leinster character, because they could have easily let that slip after being almost too complacent after beating La Rochelle, and they kept their heads at the end, won the game, and it didn't look like they celebrated too much because they know the job's not done yet, which is a big go for them.
Except for Mr. Lowe there on the wing, that they win a scrum and he carries on as if they just won the World Cup. So he's one of those primary school players that small victories are massive to them. I think what Bongi spoke about it, their plastic energy that the English have, and Lowe fits that mold perfectly. Like, he over celebrates for everything, and it's maybe a good thing for them, and I'm very happy for them that they have somebody that likes things that go well. But I mean, tone it down, son. Just win a trophy first, and then we can talk.
Would you put him up there with some of the best wingers in the world?
No, not even close. Because I was watching him specifically again after I read how amazing he is. Catches and kicks, misses tackles. Like, I mean, I want to put that meme up where, or like everybody bragging about how we picked up Eben in the World Cup in that first pool stage. And then compare that to the 5 missed tackles I saw yesterday. Just that clip alone would like shut everyone up. Like, yes, you picked up Eben because he was upright and you had support from 3 other Irish players. Just calm down and, like I said, win a trophy first. But anyway, that's my little rant on the Irish. Actually, not on the Irish, on just
I don't think
Irish.
I don't think he's the best player in the world. Definitely not the best winger in the world. I don't think he's the worst player, but I feel like I'm watching a fullback play on the wing. Like he kicks more than the 10 and the fullback, probably combined. Like he gets the ball and he kicks it.
Yes.
As a wing, like he scores a lot of tries at the end. Like he's almost like always the last guy to receive the ball and just puts it down, but he hasn't got the most pace. I don't see him stepping guys really. He's just a strong guy that runs hard when he runs and doesn't kick. But Leinster's Gibson Park, on form, the best 9 in the world. And we watched DuPont just now because obviously we're filming this on Sunday. Gibson Park at the moment is ridiculous. That score, that try that James Lowe scored in the corner, Gibson Park, the quick thinking of just slapping the ball out to him. And it wasn't just like a slap into and hoping he catches it. Like he knew exactly James Lowe's there, open, boom, ball just pops and he slaps it immediately because he knows there's a ball, James Lowe's there. Absolutely ridiculous. The way that he just sees the game, reads the game, plays the game. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, sorry, I had to mute my mic and my dog's drinking water right next to my feature, and it just sounds horrible.
Oh.
So anyway, yeah, I completely agree. I made a post about it the other day. I think Gibson Park is, for me, the best 9 in the world currently. I'm not a big fan of him. I think he's got, like in South Africa, they would say, a moermai gesiggie. But he deserves all the credit that he's getting, and that man of the match performance really put him above most 9s in the world. I am so excited to see DuPont versus Gibson Park in that final. It's going to be, oh my goodness, it's going to be something amazing, and I cannot wait for it. And as we talk about it, let's move on to the Toulouse game against Harlequins. What a game of rugby. You and I spoke the first 10 minutes of the game. We said Leinster must be shitting themselves right now because what a start from Toulouse.
Yeah. They just ran all over Harlequins. Like Harlequins couldn't get, I wouldn't even say a foothold in the game. They couldn't get a foothold on a foot on the park. They couldn't touch the ball. They couldn't dream of touching the ball. And Toulouse just steamrolled them, scoring 2 tries. No, it could have been 2 tries. And then all of a sudden, Harlequins get one opportunity, go to the other side of the field and score a try. And then you all of a sudden think, game on. Because then Toulouse dominates again, but somehow Harlequins comes away with the try. And that first half, I thought, okay, it's very tight. And then all of a sudden, Toulouse runs away with the game in the end of the first half. And you're thinking, okay, this is the Toulouse that we saw against Exeter, right? In that second half. They've already started at the end of the first half. And then you can take us into the second half because it was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, the second half was also, it wasn't a good start I was hoping from Toulouse because I was supporting Toulouse despite Harlequins having a few sappers in the team, but we'll get to that now. I wanted the Toulouse team to start better. And it was probably the first 15 minutes of the second half was quite boring. And, my word, your favorite ref. I said I don't want to talk about refs, but I was complaining on our WhatsApp group. I think he wanted Toulouse to win, like, very badly. Because
such a sassy attitude. Wow.
But there was a part where I said on the group, I was like, okay, I see why Casual Bias doesn't like this ref, because he said the Oaks the whole Toulouse team falls over the ruck, completely seal off the ball, fall over. He gives a scrum to Toulouse. I could not believe my eyes. Even the commentators were like, you have got to be shitting me. Anyway, enough about the refs. I don't care.
No, because since we're talking about him, did you see Intermux tackle on Andre Estreisen? shown quickly once on the replay. And they were like, "Oh shit, we can't show that." These French, not commentators, camera guys or whatever, they are scum when it comes to this stuff. They did it against the South Africans when we played there, not in the World Cup, the one before that, right?
Yes.
And they did it again. And you saw immediately, as soon as that Dupont clean-out came through, that was a red card, by the way.
Yes.
As soon as that happened, spammed it, replay after replay after replay after replay. But they didn't think of showing Intermax one. And the commentator said, "Oh, I wonder why they're not showing it. I think we all know why they're not showing it." And I love that these commentators actually called them out on that bullshit, because it's ridiculous.
Yes, I agree, because that Intermac one, that was also straight yellow. If we're going on all the laws that we've been seeing for the last 2 years in World Rugby, Intermac should have been gone and sitting there on the sideline with a yellow card. So I agree with that.
Yep.
But I want to talk about one special player in that Harlequin side that somehow has to play international rugby, Tyrone Green.
Yes.
Holy
Yes.
shit.
Wow.
The man can ball.
He finds gaps where there isn't gaps. It is ridiculous. And it's game after game. Like, obviously, most people talk about Marcus Smith and Andre Esterhuizen, which is correct, because they are the two standout players. They are the marquee players of Harlequins. But Tyrone Green's season has been insane, and he does magical stuff. Look at that try he scored. He made the try and then got himself in a supporting line again to run a crazy line to score that try, to get them 5 points behind.
Yeah.
That guy is ridiculously good. And I mean ridiculously good.
I wonder if anybody on any international stage is actually looking at him. Like, obviously he's been in England for, this is his 3rd year. So
how old is he? Let me check.
He's young. I think he's 25 or 26. I think. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Look it up while you're there. But I do think that the man
26.
Yeah, 26. Yeah. So I do think that the guy deserves to play somewhere in his life, maybe one World Cup for some country. While his only chances currently are England or South Africa.
I can see him playing for the Boks, especially after Villiers gone. If we have just Willemse there, especially knowing Tyrone Green can cover the wing as well, if you want to put him as our player 23 on the bench, our utility back on the bench, because obviously Willemse can slot into 15 or 10 or 12. Tyrone Green to slot into the wing or fullback position against especially a weakened side. Let's say, for instance, Italy, that doesn't play a compact game. You want to get him into games where you know the ball's going to be flying around. Even a game like New Zealand, because it isn't a compact game. That is where he really flourishes, and that's why he showed a lot of talent today. Because Toulouse, they don't like defending. Their defense is not good at all. They just got to keep the ball.
Well, while we're on the topic of defense and Marcus Smith, I feel like that Marcus Smith could be a world-class 10 if the Oak could defend. If he could defend and read a defense line, he could be world-class, because he's got the attacking flair to him. But also what irritated me today about Marcus Smith is, yes, your kicking is good. Why are you kicking all your little bit of possession away? Yes, he's winning territory, but he's not applying pressure when you kick for territory. Some people will say, yes, you are, but I don't feel that way. I feel like, okay, wherever we are now, we have the ball. Even if it's on our 5, we're still going to get the ball and clear. There's no pressure for us. But if you have to defend and defend and defend, then it starts getting tiring. But Marcus Smith doesn't see it that way. He just wants to kick the ball away, show the world, look at my brilliant cross kick. Like, it annoys me. It annoys me.
I think he can be world class when the team is kind of built around him. Like, this Harlequins team is kind of built around the way that he wants to play. And that's why he's always struggled in that England jersey. I've been very critical about him in the England jersey just because of all the hype that people put around him, and he hasn't performed for England at all, in my opinion. If England play the way that they played in the Six Nations come the end, bit more fluidity in the back line, I think he can be sensational in that 10 jersey. I thought he had an absolutely brilliant game, even at fullback against the French in the Six Nations. So The potential is there, but he's one of those players that you kind of need to build the game around him. It's the same, him and Mani Lebok, same WhatsApp group. Like certain games suit them, others not at all. Don't put Marcus Smith in a game that's going to be like this. I don't see him flourishing at all.
I completely agree. And I think that concludes our episode for the night, because I'm very happy with me predicting this game by 12 points as well. So I had a great weekend. So yeah, if you are, do you have anything else to add to this?
No. Once again, brilliant advertisement for the game. Thank you everyone for joining. Please remember to like and subscribe. We love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. Just a great weekend of rugby, and we actually have to thank the teams because it's not ours. So thank you for having us still glued to the TV, even though we didn't always want to be. Adios.
Okay, everybody, bye.